only a unique mine find, but I love the design that they put the beautiful stone in the pendant and in the matching earrings. Talk about, again, the perfect leaf design and organic and Mother Nature, that kind of nature-inspired feel. Okay, first time you're seeing us in the event, we were trying to find, because you said, Jay, that you actually had footage of the Citron Verde.
Citron Verde, okay,
Citron Verde.
okay, so.
From there.
Okay, these are brand new. You're getting, this is part of the gallery collection. This is from one of our artists that's very contemporary. They're very highly known. They sell really to high-end, their whole thing is high-end galleries, right? And this is that kind of look that you're gonna get. All created by our silversmiths, all from scratch, all by hand, sterling silver sheet material, they're not cast. This is a skill, but what makes it really sets it off is this Citron Verde Turquoise. Now, that being said, the design's phenomenal, but if you, just a little clue about the material. This turquoise, if you think about it, okay, now we're going to the largest gem and mineral show in the world. It encompasses all of Tucson and out almost, there's still shows going on as far out as 50 miles from Tucson that are splinter shows off this. You know, the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show is not just one show, right? It's over 70, 80 different legal events that are actually, well, when I say legal, other events aren't that they're illegal, it's just that they're not really, they're not sponsored, they're not part of it, right? It's just like somebody that decided to open up their parking lot and everybody's just showing. Right? I mean, when you go to Tucson, you know, you gotta go just for your, and it's you know, it is to the trade, but there is a large portion of it that's open to the public. So even if you're not in the trade, you still can go see a lot of the show. But there is a lot of it that is to the trade only, right? But I will tell you with this, if you went to Tucson with me, okay, and you were just there, the only Citron Verde Turquoise that you would have seen is you would have been seeing it on a table as we were filming it. HSN, they were there, they had a film crew, and they were filming me and I was talking about it, but the only reason you would see it there is because I brought it. I actually brought the rough.
It wasn't, nobody else was supplying?
No, they wanted to meet the miner, and they wanted us to show the miner and then film the material. But the miner never comes to the United States. It's one of those things that we have. So the only way that we could actually film it is actually bring it. So the reason I'm telling you that, that's how rare it is, right? So, it's not, when it doesn't have a presence in the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show, then you know that it's limited, that it just didn't make it. And nobody else that I'm aware of even has the access to the rough or would even know, you know, how to obtain the rough.
And these earrings are special event price. They're $104.98 with 6 monthly flex payments. They will be $119. Then the actual pendant is $129.98. That will be $154 HSN price, if any remain. Now, terms of size, the earrings are just a little over 2 inches, 2 1/8 of an inch. They're gonna show up beautifully. Look at even the way that they curved the silver, like an angled, like a real leaf would be shaped.
It's called,
very dimensional.
Yeah, look, it's convex, and they're all made one at a time, custom by our silversmiths, and that's the key, right? That's what we do different than the majority of the manufacturers. This is all still old school. This is how I started, this is how I learned. And I have to tell you, I've manufactured jewelry in every way possible that you can imagine. I am up on the latest techniques, but you know what's really funny? I always go back to my old ways. And I've never, now this is just me, I don't know everything, but for me, I don't think that you can get a better jewelry product than having artists hand make it from scratch and making it from sterling silver sheet. And to do the finish, if you see this finish, you cannot get a mirror finish like that. Most people, when they finish, a lot of them, and I'm not saying everyone, but a good percentage, when they get a finish like this on it, you know how they do it? They tumble it down, and then they silver plate it with 999 fine silver. And that's how they get that finish. With us, we're taking sterling silver. They hand buff this. That's a 5-step process. Think about the quality of just the finishing aspect of this. Large, big surface area. You see that it's almost so with the light here, you can actually see my jacket. Look at my jacket again. It's like a mirror.
Our screens. You can see our preview screens.
You know, when you're looking at the color, do you see that's the reflection? Do you see where you can see? You see my jacket on there? Yeah, you know, it's reflecting back. I mean, isn't that cool? But that shows you, you know, how. You know, the finish on this, the quality of the craftsmanship.
It's gorgeous.
You look at the materials. Here again, we chose this for a reason. Citron Verde, this beautiful, beautiful green. It's like, it's the most unusual green.
It is.
That's why
the high green would be
Verde, just so you know, is Spanish for green. Yeah. And then Citron, the reason we did it, because Citron means citrus, or Citron like more of a yellow, so it's the yellow green.
I would say it's like the version of the high blue in blue turquoise. This would be like the high green version, but you can't find it. That's what's so amazing. Just a handful of both of the pendant and the earrings remain. So again, congratulations. What a beautiful piece. It is time to talk about one of our key specials for the event, and that is, it's been saved for the very final day of Jay's visit.